Arit. Okay, good. Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Mabuhay. This is Antukin ako for Paul Rosales at the June and Paul with JV show. Sorry for the late start, but we have technical difficulties and we worked it out. Can you guys message us if there's no sound? But I think there is. Our guest today is well known more as Tandang Garimot. Let's introduce himself. Tandang, can you are you there?
Yeah.
Good evening there. What time is it in Chicago?
It's about 7 o'clock over here. So, madilim na.
So, kumusta? We haven't talked for a while.
I know. Tagal tayo hindi nakita, man. Lakwatsa ka
Yeah,
kasi ng lakwatsa eh.
Layo kasi natin eh.
Kaya nga eh.
Actually, andyan ako nung last week.
Oh.
Itong weekend. Kaso busy with family. So.
Oh, yeah. It happens.
So, let's introduce you for the people who doesn't know who you are.
Sige.
Sino ba si Tandang Garimot?
Si Tandang. So, si Tandang Garimot, ang totoong pangalan niya ay si Michael Santos Eugenio. Okay? Tandang basically ang pangalan na binigay sa akin ni Puno Abundio Paete dahil ako ay naging tagapagturo ng Garimot Arnis. So, Tandang is my fighting name. Yun ang pangalan na binigay sa akin. I had to fight for it and work hard for it. Tapos, dinagdag ko na yung Garimot para to show respect for the art. So, ang tawag ngayon nila sa akin, naging Tandang Garimot.
Correct. And that's how I know who you are. So, saan ka sa Chicago?
Sa Chicago, sa Wrigley ako talaga. Sa around Wrigley area and Lakeview area. Doon ako nagtuturo sa malapit sa may sa DePaul University. Nagturo ako doon and then sa may Lakeview by Lincoln and Diversity area.
Oh, okay.
Doon nandun ang studio ko.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, mayroon nagbukas siya ng school dati. Nasa second floor, diba? Ilang square feet yun?
Altogether, kasama yun nasa taas, it's 2,500 square feet.
Yeah, malaki, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Yung meron kang FMA or martial arts school sa Chicago?
Yeah, so kasi nung ang pangako ko kay Guru dati, kapag nagkataon at magtatayo yun ng eskwela, i-dedicate sa mostly Filipino martial arts, right? So yun ang ginawa namin, parang very first school talaga na Filipino martial art na dedicated to Filipino martial arts, mostly yung curriculum niya. So nung nangyari yun, marami ding naimbita na ibang practitioners, so nasali na rin ng mga Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, at saka yung Tai Chi. So, parang naging multi-style, pero ang focus talaga niya, Filipino martial arts.
Filipino martial arts. Ilang taon din nakabukas yung school mo?
6 years?
Wow,
6 years.
That's actually
6 years
a
in
long
the same
time.
location. Oo. 6 years kami sa location na yun.
So, paano ka nagsimula ng martial arts? Not only Filipino.
Alam mo kasi nung bata pa ako, talagang mahilig na sa Kung Fu. Nauna karate sa Pilipinas dahil yung pinsan ko karatista daw siya. So siya ang nagturo sa akin. Pero nung nalaman ko nung umuwi ako sa probinsya namin, hindi pala talaga karate, kundi Arnis Limano. Ang tawag lang niya karate dahil gusto niya malaman siya na karatista siya.
Oh, okay.
So yun ang
So,
unang natutunan ko.
Tiga saan ka sa atin?
Ako sa Bulacan, lumaki ako sa Bulacan, sa Pulo Valenzuela, Bulacan. Pero yung probinsya namin ay sa San Miguel, Bulacan.
Okay. Okay. So sa Bulacan ka nagsimula ng karate / Filipino martial arts.
Oo, yeah.
Pagkatapos nun, what happened?
So pagkatapos nun, pumunta na ako ng Amerika nung 10 taon ako. Natigil yung practice ko, so hindi ako nakapag-practice ng mga siguro 5 taon din. Tapos nakakita ako ng Kung Fu School, ano? Yung kaibigan ko kasi nagko-Kung Fu School siya. So binibisita ko siya doon, pinapanood ko yung mga klase. Naawa yata sa akin yung isang teacher doon. Dahil wala akong pera. So nag-trade kami. Sabi niya, daan ka dito ng yung mga 6 PM sa hapon, maglinis-linis.
Nice.
Pwede ka manood at turuan kita, sumali ka sa class. So yun, pinagpatuloy ko yun, ginawa ko yun ng mga siguro for 3 years. Natutuhan ko ng konting animal style, pero hindi naman nag-stick kasi mahina akong mag-memorize ng form. So, yun ang napag-aralan ko nung pagdating ko dito. Ang style niya is Chuan Fa, ang tawag. Taiwanese yung grandmaster eh.
Tapos after ng Kung Fu, what happened next?
Pagkatapos nun, nung medyo 18 years old na yata ako, 18 years old ako noon. Sabi ko sa tatay ko, gusto ko mag-aral ng ibang martial art. Hindi pa rin niya kaya magbayad, So, ang ginawa ko, nag-part-time ako sa may Lincoln Square, merong comic book store, doon ako tumatambay. Nagkataon din ko nakita yung nandun pala nakatayo yung the famous Degerberg Academy as well, that area.
Mm-hmm.
So, nag-enroll ako doon. Merong free trial na I think it was like at the time you pay like $20, you get a uniform and everything else, So I did that for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So 2-week lesson. Tapos nung isang araw papunta ako doon. I remember it was a Saturday, right? So punta ako ng klase, nagsasign in ako. Nabigla ako, nakita ko si Dan Inosanto. Nasa harap ng reception. Sabi ko, "Uy, ikaw si Dan Inosanto." Sabi niya, "Yeah." Hindi ko alam at the time, madalas Degerberg was like a satellite school for Guru Dan Inosanto. So, nung nakita kong nung nalaman ko yun, doon na talaga ako nag-train. Like I trained there for like more than 10 years,
Wow, 10 years ka sa Degerberg.
Oo.
We never crossed paths.
Yeah.
Actually,
I know.
dumadaan ako doon tuwing may seminar. I went to 2 of Dan Inosanto, 2 of Ajahn Chai's Thai boxing.
Okay.
I never did a shoot fighting and sibat. Sabat,
yeah.
sorry, sibat.
Yeah, kasi dati doon ako kasi nga hindi ko rin kaya yung magbayad ng seminar. So ang ginawang deal sa akin ni Fred Degerberg is I can record ako ang naging cameraman ng seminar. So every seminar Guru then comes around, ako nagre-record ng video references para sa kanya. So that's how I started following them and learning a little bit more about Filipino martial arts. Tapos doon ko na pinagtuloy yung talagang pag-practice ng Filipino martial arts.
So back then, anong natutunan mo kasi multi-system si Dan Inosanto? Anong style siya nung FMA by that time? Is he Benko already or still Sarada?
No, ang tinuturo ni Guru Dan dati is mostly Lacosta method, di ba? Lacosta siya, Villabril, and Piquiliter siya. He would cover very minimum of Serrada, only yung Sombrada drill, like the box pattern that would be included in some of the curriculum. So ang focus niya talaga dati is Lacosta method. Yeah.
Kasi during that time, halo-halo talaga eh. Lacosta, Sarada, Huron, Villabril.
Yeah.
It's so confusing kasi hindi mo alam kung ano system pinag-aaralan mo.
Oo. Yeah, kasi
So,
at that time when I was following, that was early in the 90s, di ba? So pagkatapos ng mga 2000 na makita mo na meron ng balintawak method din.
Correct.
So yeah, it kept evolving basically. The curriculum kept changing. So
we have a common friend, Eugene Amante.
yes.
Paano mo siya na-meet?
So na-meet ko siya sa Degerbeg Academy dahil meron silang JKD group doon no? Because he was already an instructor under Guru Dan.
Correct.
It's a funny story kasi kami ni Eugene, hindi kami magka-vibes niya nung nagkikita kami na Degerbeg.
Hey, Eugene has an attitude.
Yeah. But
that's his personality.
Oo, very selective si Eugene. So tuwing magkikita kami, titingnan ako niyan, titingnan ako ng up and down niya, gaganin yan. Pag nag-hit ng bag yan, tapos tatango lang. What's up? Ganun lang. Ang napansin niya, dahil nga palagi ako nasa Guru Dan Inosanto seminar, nakita niya, I guess yung mga movement ko nagustuhan niya, Pero hindi pa rin kami nagte-train noon. Ang talagang na-meet ko lang siya ay nung one seminar, there was a part where Guru Dan was going over some shoot wrestling, so we were learning shoot wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
At the halfway of that part of the seminar, he asked everybody to roll, right? So back to back kami, makikipag grappling ka. I ended up partnering with Eugene, and so we started rolling, and I rolled him on his back, and for some reason he just turned and tried to flip me, but I just rolled with him, and I ended up getting him in the rear naked choke. So he was surprised by that because at that time he was a Bishuto fighter, right?
Yeah.
Class B fighter. So he was surprised. I'm like, holy shit! And then everybody was like, kind of like yelling, "Oh my god!" Oh. So he's like, "Oh, let's do that again." So we tried it again, and same thing. I got him in an arm bar, but at that time, because I was taking shoot wrestling, but I was also already doing Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay. Does he know that?
Those were like the schools of like our arch enemy, diba, dati?
Yes.
Shuto at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Correct.
So, yeah. So pagkatapos ng seminar na yun, nilapitan niya ako, sabi niya, sinong ka-training mo? Sabi ko, wala. Sabi ko, isa lang kaibigan ko na nandito, nag-get together kami, nagte-training ako. Kasi nung at the time, nagte-training din ako kay Nate Defensor, ng Defensor method, So sabi niya, marami ka palang alam. So, sumali ka na sa akin, sumali ka na sa grupo ko para, matuturuan kita. So natuwa naman ako dahil sabi ko, oh my God, man, I finally somebody, kasi at that time, I idolized him, Palagi siya kasing, he was known as the Guru Dan's lost son, right?
Yes. Actually, inaanak niya yung isang anak ni Dan Inosanto.
Yeah.
He's the godfather.
Yeah. So, kanya sabi ko, oh man, this is a great opportunity, kasi pag nakikita ko palagi siyang ginagamit ni Guru Dan as an instructor as an uki, di ba? So sabi ko, man, magaling talaga tong batang to. So, nung insidente na yun, doon kami nagka-vibes kami dahil sabi niya, okay ka, sabi niya, talagang, how long have you been training? Sabi ko, man, medyo matagal na pero wala talaga akong kagrupo, and that was something that I was looking for. So he invited me and he welcomed me on a group. But then we ended up forming our own group because the other guys were kind of like older. They didn't want to be rough anymore. And at that time we were young. And he wanted to train a certain way, like mostly applications. Sabi ko, yeah, game ako dyan. So, yun ang nangyari. Nagka-form kami ng, we had our own mini group that we formed within Daggerberg Academy.
Kasi actually, when I met Eugene, may days during the week that he doesn't hang out with us. He goes to Chicago and we know he trains.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, your group and our group in the suburbs, hindi nagka-chance na
Nagka-meet. Yeah.
Correct. Kasi the same year, the same time, nung nag-group, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, kasi he actually he mentioned you guys kasi sabi nga niya, kasi I think at the time he lived in Lyle, right?
Lyle, correct. Lyle.
So sabi nga niya, yeah, I have another group in Lyle, that I teach over there too, sabi niya. Pero yun nga ang meeting namin kasi it ended up happening like on the weekend sa Daggerberg Academy. So
on the weekend usually we go out. We go drinking either China Club or I can remember the other clubs.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Like right after training at nighttime, we go clubbing like Crowbar,
correct.
Kaboom. Yeah.
But that's the funny thing, right? He got your group talagang separated sa amin. Kasi pag lumabas kami, wala kayo. Then, pag lumabas kayo, wala kami.
Yeah, kaya nga weird na hindi tayo nagkatugma,
Oo. So, that is the funny thing. Actually, nabit namin siya sa College of DuPage.
Okay, yeah.
Nag-enroll ako sa Tangsudo and Aikido.
Oh.
So, nag-enroll ako para sparring.
Oh, yeah.
So at the same time, nakita ko yung value ng Aikido saka Tangsudo.
Yeah.
Then kasi black belt na ako sa Taekwondo noon. So I wanna try other Korean or Japanese art. Then na-meet ko siya. He's teaching me now. Well, actually, we got together to spar. Your style against whatever the other guy's style is.
Yeah.
So, Taekwondo ako, ginamit niya Muay Thai. Ginamit ni nung kambal, I don't know if you met them, si Ray and Rec Stacadina.
Oo.
So, their karate and also, what do you call this? Pressure point fighting kay Dillman.
Okay. Yeah.
That's their...
Yeah.
So, sparring kami sa basement nung bahay. Noong una, tinantad niya yung hita ko. Sabi ko, kung hindi ako makakatayo, hindi ako makakalaban.
Yeah.
Then when we sparred again, binaltang ko ng konti yung sidekick ko. Imbis na diretsyo, ginawa kong 45 degrees. Bumagsak siya. Sabi niya, paano ginawa yun?
Yeah.
Doon nagsimula yung exchange ng art namin.
Yeah. So parang pareho din kayo nag-meet kami. Kasi yun ang gusto niya like he wanted somebody that he can work out with. Spar with.
Saka may pressure. Hindi lang basta bigay.
Yeah. Yun ang gusto niya like, oh man, I don't have a lot of people that I can spar with to improve. Yun ang goal niya. Sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, I'm fine with that. Para matuto rin ako, dahil talagang application ang naging focus namin So, kanya ngayon nakikita ko na bakit mahilig siya nagtatayo ng grupo, para training partners niya.
Kasi mahirap talagang humanap ng mga partner na i-enhance yung skill mo.
Oo.
Kaya iba kasi takot,
Yeah. Tsaka yung iba kasi ego lang talaga
Yeah.
So, yun ang gusto niya no, sabi nga niya nung nagka-group pa, okay, who else do you want to put in the group, So, nahandpick namin yung grupo namin para talagang everybody progresses, like share knowledge and stuff like that, which I really love. Kasi like even now, like even though we're doing this different things now, you see like their achievements, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So magandang naging ano ng grupo na we always push each other para talaga, you perfect what you want to do.
Yeah, ang nakakatawa nga lang doon, we stick with our style when we spar. For some reason, I don't know why. Then, pag tapos na, pag dugo na kami, doon siya mag-open. Okay, Paul, grappling tayo. Turuan kita kung paano maka-alpas sa mount, side mount, Ibigay din sa akin yung flow ng shoot fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Kaso litong-lito ako nun. Hindi ka ba nalito? Ang daming style. Ano?
Yeah, sobrang daing ng style. Like, lalo na yung penjak silat, di ba? Kasi at the time, we were doing penjak silat with Pak Herman, the late Pak Herman.
Yes,
Herman Rwanda. So, I mean, I studied it, but I mean, honestly, I could not appreciate it. Kasi sabi ko, Gene, ano naman ang application ito?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay kung cooperative yung partner mo, Pero sabi ko, kung katulad ng jiu-jitsu, or shoot wrestling, talagang nag-grappling ka, like, I don't see it working,
Yeah.
But thank God that I kept with it, even though I didn't understand it at the time. Kasi nung na-meet ko naman si Guru Abon, tinuro sa akin yung buno, dun sa akin nag-click. Sabi ko, oh my God, yung buno look like, like a harimaw style ni Suwanda.
Correct.
Ng sila. Sabi ko, oh, ganun pala. Yung pala ang talagang feel ng ganun siguro dapat ang feel ng silat. Kanya, na-appreciate ko ngayon yung silat nung na-meet ko si Guru Abon.
Actually, nakakatawa yun. Si siya kung magpunta ng bar or ng paggabi, may dalang sarong. He's always like tied up in his waist or on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
So, talking about Eugene, it's a full, daming style, daming art. It's nice to learn, kaso ang hirap gumawa ng base. Did you feel the same way?
Exactly the same way. I think the only thing that I was really good at that I picked up was the JKD concepts of the rules of fighting, right? Yung 5 methods of attack.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I was proud of and like applying. Kasi mahina talaga ako sa memorization ng terminology, forms, pero yung application, yun talagang hinahanap ko. So, nung na-understand ko yung 5 ways and 5 methods of attack, again, later on in life, na-relate ko sa 5 teros ng Garimot.
Ng Garimot.
5 ways din ng a method of fighting, of strategies, And then
pinaka-widespread dun paksaw, lapsaw, basic.
Yeah. So yun ang nagustuhan ko, yung Jinfan kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And the shoot wrestling I picked up kasi I was already doing Gracie Jiu-Jitsu at the time. So I really like that kasi kinumbine niya yung kickboxing at saka grappling style ng like catch as catch can wrestling.
Yeah.
So I really like that. It seemed like a really well-rounded style. So we focused on that while we would spar. Ina-isolate talaga namin. So in that sense, kahit marami yung pinag-aaralan, some of them you just kind of like, well, parang eskwela,
Yeah,
parang gusto mo yung math, pero mahina ka sa science.
Sa science,
You know what I mean? So ganun na nangyari. But then later on, like I said, I'm glad that we did that kasi now you see a whole bunch of other styles evolving and you can kind of appreciate, what you had to go through to kind of get there.
I remember they had a open house in Dagenburg, and Eugene doesn't have a partner, so he ended up calling me. I showed up. Like, what are we gonna do? He goes, just follow.
Yeah.
So we did the demo. It's a mixture of FMA, JKD. The end part became shoot fighting,
Yeah.
and people started approaching me, asking me my credentials.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So ano
we
naging-
did that.
Yeah, go ahead.
We did that too. Yung kasi like Dagenburg usually has like a black belt celebration or black belt club, whatever celebration. Nagde-demo sila. They asked us to do a demo. Nobody knew what we were gonna do because we were supposed to show the demonstration before we actually do the demo to the public. But we would have been like partying so hard, so we would never show up. And so
But
we
Eugene
actually
is notorious about that. He doesn't practice. He goes, I taught you this already. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So our
Well,
demo
so-
was pretty much just like that.
Yeah. I mean, I know we even did Bounce house party at Barrington, Illinois. I mean, we made sideline, and we're all short Filipinos
Yeah.
wearing red bandanas, going to a house party, and the pay was good. One weekend we get paid. I can't remember now. We have a whole group, and then after that we ate breakfast on a Greek place. I can't remember now in Lyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ano nag-transition? Paano ka from that widespread art, right? Like a buffet of art, went to Garimot.
So yung transformation ng that's the hardest part. Yung since I'm already an instructor, right? It was hard for me to let go of what I've learned. Because when I met Guru, when I saw him, he was invited to do a demonstration with the Nate Defensor at the time. So pinuntahan ko siya dahil gusto ko makita yung style. I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed with what he showed. Yung Paete style, yung Garimot style. It was something that I've never seen before. So na-intriga ako. So I kept calling him, bringing him here for seminar. But it was hard for me to understand the art.
Yes, kasi nasanay tayo sa Largamano with Iron, right? The elastico, the long stance.
Yeah.
I think Nate Defensor is very good at that. I'm supposed to meet him long time ago, but never had a chance.
Mhm.
Yun ang specialty ata ni Nate noon. Sa kasada.
Yeah, so si Nate kasi yung parang guru din Inosanto din ang approach niya, So maraming siyang curriculum, modular ang method niya, which is what I like. Pero if you don't stick with him for a long time, it's hard to understand it, just like with Guru Dan Inosanto.
Yes.
Right? It's hard to put together the curriculum and the modules. So at the time, yun ang alam ko. Like, oh, I know these drills, and this is how it works. Pero si Gatpuno, nung pinakita niya yung system niya, there was something about it, like, man, something else makes this art work. And it's not the same as any other Filipino martial arts that I've seen. So talagang diligently, I tried to study with him. And since I came from a JKD background, I thought I can modify it to make it fit.
Mhm.
Big mistake. It doesn't work that way. It did not work that way. Matigas ang ulo ko. Every time na magmi-meet ako ni Guru Abon, sasabihin niya, okay, pick up your stick, sparring tayo. And I could never touch him. I could never touch him. He would always hit me. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So something was not clicking. So ang sabi niya sa akin, gusto mo ba talaga to? Sabi ko, opo. Sabi niya, okay, so ang kailangan mong gawin is don't treat this like JKD. Kasi the FMA that I picked up, the way it's practiced now, is modern rather than traditional. At the time, I didn't know what that meant, right? So, I mean, what's the difference? I thought, hey, some of these systems are old,
Yeah.
Pero sabi niya, but the way it's taught, the way it's mixed, naging modern Filipino martial arts yan, like Lameco. Because at that time, I was already doing Lameco too, right?
Correct.
So, nag-i-sparring kami. And ang talagang ginagawa ko palagi, merong footwork kasi yung Lameco na ang tawag hakbang paiwas, di ba?
Correct. I learned that too.
Yeah, so hakbang paiwas. Sabi ko, oh my God.
Tinatamaan ka.
Yeah, every time I do hakbang paiwas, tapul ako sa ulo. Sabi ko,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on? Sabi niya, okay, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ng hakbang paiwas pagka ganito ang anggulo ng tama. Kahit ano gawin mo, mahuhuli ang footwork mo, tatamaan ka sa ulo. And sure enough, he always did. So sabi ko, okay, practice. But then the following seminar again, hindi ko pa rin makuha. Okay, Train kami ni Eugene, ni Dennis, We knew the drill.
Na-involved na si Eugene also.
Oo, involved na si Eugene noon. Dahil
So,
naisig niya kami.
Silito yun. Silito na.
So, the drill, we know the drill, but we just could not put it together into an application the way we want. Kasi puro application ang gusto namin. Like, we want to be able to pull this off in a fight. We could never do it. So, next seminar, dating ulit si Gatpuno, nakita niya, man, matigas pa rin ang ulo namin.
Correct.
My God. So, tinawag, bago mag-seminar, sabi ni Guro, Mike, Eugene, Dennis, pick up your stick. Like, okay, you're gonna spar with me, 3-on-1. So, oh my God. So, nag-spar kami ni Gatpuno. Lahat kami. Bukol, man. Bukol. So, pagkatapos nun, bago mag-seminar, kinausap kami talaga ni Guro, nag-heart to heart kami. Sabi niya, talagang hindi mo maiintindihan tong Garimot Arnis kapag hindi mo nilet go ang alam mo na ngayon. And it made sense. Kasi even in JKD, di ba, ang philosophy is always be half empty ang cup mo, right? So at the time, since I was like, no, I already know all this stuff. I'm good.
Yeah.
I was resisting. So that was the only way that I was able to absorb yung art ngayon ng Garimot because of that. So I had to stop training everything else to kind of really digest what Garimot was all about. And that became my main focus besides my Tai Chi practice. Those were the only two things that I actually started working hard on and practicing. But then I flip-flopped again and I was able to relate the other stuff and totally appreciate it in a different way.
And actually, nakita mo in another light yung other FMA na alam mo na. Kasi ganun nangyari sa akin. After I learned Garimot, bumalik ako sa Sarada, Lameco, and I saw, I can apply the distance in this thing.
Yes.
And it made it better.
Yes.
Kasi dati, parang manok, tanda, right?
Yeah.
Salbukan lang, salbukan lang.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly, that's why he called me Tandang.
So, yeah, so, ano bang, what else have you done besides after learning Garimot now?
So, after Garimot, well, not after Garimot, alongside Garimot, I kept practicing a rare style of Tai Chi. It's called Temple style. So I've been doing that just as long as I have been. No, actually longer than Garimot. I've been doing that, and then I also became naging certified instructor ako ng firearms and tactical shooting.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was that?
that's fun. That's fun.
Now let me ask you, with firearms, that also changed. Did it change your FMA? How
It
you
did change my
practice?
FMA. Yeah, it did change my FMA. Kasi in the firearms community, ibang philosophy nila when it comes to self-defense. You know, I had to get rid of the art part of it dahil sa kanila in the when it comes to self-defense, it's something that ang gusto nila is yung higher percentage din ng ng survivability.
Higher percent on everything, right? Higher survivability, accuracy,
Yeah,
speed, everything is calculated.
yeah,
But the main thing with them is to avoid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can avoid, you can. Not like us when we're FMA. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go do this.
yeah.
You know, we will go. The fight is like a mile away. We'll run a mile to go to the fight.
Yeah. Kasi nga,
Ngayon, yeah.
tinanong ako ng teacher ko dati, ng instructor ko. Kasi alam niya, na-discover niya na nagmang-martial arts din ako. Kasi hindi ko naman binabanggit eh. Yung na-discover niya kasi nakita niya yung YouTube channel ko. Sabi, hey, that's you. I go, yeah. Tinanong niya sa akin, so what would you say the differences between knife fighting and shooting? Sabi ko, well, the big difference kasi sa barilan, when it comes to self-defense sa barilan, hindi mo pwedeng barilin sa likod.
Correct.
Pero sa saksakan, sasaksakan mo sa likod pag nakatalikod.
Correct. Saka nag-iba rin yung you learn placement of weapons, right? Dati kung saan, wala ilagay. I remember, because we have a common friend again, Eugene, right? He has all these knickknacks of tools. You know, he has the claw finger. You saw those things. You know, he gave me one for a gift. You know, so pag sumampal ka, may kalmot.
So,
You know, he has those beads. He has, you know, you name it, he has it.
yeah.
But we never talked about weapon placement until I learned firearms. You know.
Yeah. So ang weapon placement kasi what only mattered to me is like what's accessible to you, right? Pero dahil sa traditional practice ng bunot, armas, and garimot, it kind of blended well together, right? Kasi the sword weapon or the blade weapon will be on your left side. Yung primary weapon was on your right side kung right-handed ka, and everything else should be around in front or in the back. So ang deployment niya is gonna be the same anyway, right? So yung bunot, like when I started teaching retention weapon in tactical shooting, nabigla sila, like, oh, where did that come from? You know, sabi ko, it's from bunot arma. You know, kasi bunot arma has that retention drills and fighting method. So it became natural to me to adapt yung other aspect of like what I see most people do, like, you know, like they start grappling with their guns on them and stuff like that. That was not new to me. Kasi me and Eugene did that before. We would try to handcuff each other while we're grappling.
Yeah. Oh, you guys did that too.
Yeah. And then you know, we would, you know, go inside a sarong and grapple that way and try to choke each other out.
Yeah, I've done it with him.
Yeah. And then Garimot, we also do that. We'd start grappling with the weapons. So I was pretty comfortable with that. So when I translate that to the firearms, it was kind of an easier point of view to see for me. But I just had to modify it because, you know, kasi ang line of line of danger sa pistol is obviously the muzzle, right? But it's the same with the knife. It's just that it just doesn't have a projectile. Right?
Projectile, correct.
Yeah. So those were the only things that I really have to modify in the grappling method when it comes to firearms and stuff.
Oh, by the way, Tandang, we are joined by our partner, JV. JV, say hi to Tandang.
Arnel, Tandang, Tandang Garimot, pasensya na, kakatapos ko lang trabaho.
Oh, pareho lang.
Sabihin ko lang, Kuya Paul, para kang nasa cavern. Meron kang dalawang source ng audio. Patayin mo yung isa.
I don't have one.
Your phone maybe.
Okay, go ahead. Why don't you ask Tandang if you have any questions?
Tanong ko lang, so talagang ang unang bukas mo sa karunungan sa larong Arnis ay Lameco?
No. That was later on with Rambaliki. Lameco was came later on in my study with Rambaliki.
Dito ka ba nakatira dati? Dahil sa Camarillo siya nakatira eh.
Taga saan ka ba?
Dito ako nakatira sa California ngayon. Dito ka ba dati?
No,
Chicago.
Nung police pa siya.
Police, sino?
Dati
Si Gran?
police yung si Ron eh.
Yeah, nung nag-umpisa dito, yeah, police siya dati dito. Tapos pumunta siya sa California and then he just does seminar back and forth in Chicago.
Dahil dyan siya police dati. So yun ang unang FMA mo, hindi Lameco. Ano yung una? Anong una?
It'll be yung La Costa method with Inosanto.
Gotcha. So yung sa'yo, yung karunungan sa Timog Katagalugan, doon mo unang natikman yung tinatawag na sukat, yung combat measure.
Yeah.
Lumaki ka sa atin, o parang kamukha ka namin ni Antukin at ni Eliseo na half and half?
Half and half tayo.
Ilan taon ka nung pumunta ka dito?
10.
Parang gano'n, parang kamukha sa akin. So nung middle school ka na nung dumating ka dito?
Oo. Yeah.
That's cool. Paano mo nakuha yung Ang gusto ko malaman, paano mo nakuha yung bansag na binigay sa iyo? Kasi
Yung
naging
tanda?
Tandang Garimot ka. Hindi ka naman matanda eh. Pogi ka. Para kang pangkisa sa Pilipinas.
Ngayon
rakista.
matanda na.
Mahaba buhok, kita mo may palong eh.
Pagka pretty boy siya eh.
Yeah. So, yung Tandang, yun ang binigay sa akin na pangalan ni Gatpuno Abon. Sabi niya, according to him, tuwing lalakad daw ako sa seminar, kung makikita niya ako, palagi daw naktaas ang dibdib ko. Mayabang. At saka yung the way I fought, and sabi niya, like, I was probably one of the only rare students that he had. I would fight anyone, no matter how big they were. So, sabi niya, ganun ang Tandang. They'll fight a dog or a human pagka na-insulto or something like that. So, yun ang binansag niya sa akin, Tandang.
Parang cross-communality ata yan sa mga katropa mo na nanggaling sa Chicago. Dati trabaho na matagal sa Bloomington din. Parang may communality ang June and Paul show. Ikaw at saka sa Chicago. Ano ba? Yeah. Namimiss mo ba pizza? Hindi man tayo masyadong tabain ata. Ako lang.
Dalawa lang. JV.
Kasi napakasarap talaga ng Midwest food. Sa mga nanonood dito sa Pilipinas, masasabi lang natin, di ba? Sa lahat ng pagkain sa Amerika, isa na sa pinakamasarap na Midwest. Totoo.
Oh my God. Yeah. Maraming restaurant dito, masarap.
Oo nga pala, Tandang. During that time, sineshake natin yung side ng cyber, di ba? Nakatali yan, like Thai boxer. Ginawa mo ba yun?
Hindi.
Ako, si Eugene, we did all that.
Si Eugene, meron nun. Si Tangpo.
Yeah.
Kasi ako dati, nakamuhak ako nun. So si Eugene, meron siyang gano'n, yung mahaba buhok. So yeah.
Kasi karamihan sa mga JKG back then, gano'n ang mga buhok eh. Kasi dahil sa mixture nga ng Thai boxing.
Oo.
Na-influence din ako doon, nagano'n din ako.
So para kayong yung talagang sa luma na Muay Boran, yung faux hawk, yung mohawk, tapos dito yung shave dito sa side, di ba?
Oo.
Para kayo yung pretty boy. Parang ganun.
Parang symbolism ng mongkol. Para alam mo kung nakataas yung chin mo kasi yung buhok mo tatama sa likod. So alam mo na nakataas ka. Kailangan baba mo para nakataas yung buhok mo. Ang problema doon, pag nag-shoot fighting, sasabulutan ka.
Yeah, di ba nangyari kay ano yun? Nangyari kay ano yun eh. Kay Coach Eric Paulson.
Eric Paulson, yes.
Yeah,
See?
when he did the MMA.
In the
Yung
90s
buhok
when he
niya.
did MMA.
Yeah.
Hindi
Actually, it's
masyadong
funny.
kalayuan ang gym niya sa akin.
That's very funny kasi separate talaga yung group namin ni Tandang saka ako. Kasi kami, nasa suburbs, pinapanood namin yung laban. Tapos sinabi nga namin, nung break, putulin mo yung buhok mo. Diba? Sila, pagbalik, nakatali lang. Sabi ko, patay ka. Talo ka.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
CSW, yeah, I could basically run over there. It's only a few miles from me kasi sa Orange ako. Yung headquarters nun sa Fullerton lang eh.
Okay.
yeah.
So it's the city right over.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Tabain na rin siya ngayon ng konti. Huwag naman akong don't beat me up.
Pero pareho
Kaso magaling pa rin gumalaw.
Oo, magaling
Pareho
pa
pa
rin
rin si
gumalaw.
Coach Eric,
Pino
yeah.
pa rin. Pulido pa rin ang kilos niya.
Oo.
Galing.
Yeah. That's the one thing. That's why I want to interview. Gusto ko na ma-interview, Tandang, kasi maraming tao na hindi ka talaga kilala kasi you hide. Unless they know Garimot, that's how you gonna know who you are.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, it's time to know who you Tandang is in the... Akala nila Garimot lang alam mo, but the history is far. You know?
Yeah, I've been around. Kanya nga, yun ang nakakaano kasi. Because I've always been in the background, di ba? Kasi I've always been like a follower. Like Eugene was my mentor. So I've always stood behind him. Kasi I wasn't interested in anything like that. Even in Garimot and teaching, I wasn't interested in that. I was forced to teach.
Oh, you're forced to teach.
Yeah. I had no wish or desire to teach. I just wanted to keep it for myself, and just practice. So, yeah.
Correct.
But I have been
The
around.
good old days are the practicing with a new group,
Yeah.
Kasi-
That's what I loved.
Tanda ko nung dati, boxing naman kami. Ako, Eugene, saka yung kambal. Pagkatapos namin, duguan yung ilong ni Eugene. He goes to the bathroom, plugs it in. And then, kami nga, tatlo. Ano nangyari doon? Kala ko ba expert? But I think it's because that's when I learned that he's trying different styles kung mag-work.
Yeah.
Then he realized, oh shit, hindi pwede dito.
Yeah.
Baka pwede rin sa isa, but hindi pwede dito. Then we tried it again. Then kami naman ang duguan.
Yeah. Kasi
It's an endless process.
yun ang naging process din namin, like every weekend we have to come up with something that we're gonna try to pull off. So wala na kaming ma-invento. We started watching movie. We started trying to pull off moves from the movies. I remember one time I got him with a move from Chuck Norris movie, The Octagon, yung spinning sweep.
Oh,
So bagsak siya. Tapos bumalik naman siya sa akin. Meron siya ginamit na move na nakita niya sa saan ba yun? Sa what's that movie with Bloodsport?
Bloodsport, yeah.
Van Damme?
Van Damme.
So that was the kind of thing that we did. Like, okay, we got to try to make this work, So,
Nangyari naman sa amin, nakahanap kami nung drunken style kung fu magazine. Kinopya namin yung kata, alright?
yeah.
Then we use it to Eugene. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh man.
But those are the good old days, right? So
Those were the good old days. Kasi you
Yeah.
go around and then you meet people, you spar with them. When you meet the right people, you grow.
you grow.
But on the way, there are so many. Of course, the type of people that every school that I went to, there's always like a damn martial arts bully. And
So
and
the
even when I
naging direction mo, you went Garimot 100%. Even though you know the other style, you just put it on the side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, where are you at now in Garimot?
As far as teaching it,
Teaching, propagating the art, and
so ngayon I still have a small group that I teach. You know, I select them carefully. Usually, some of them will have an interview process before they walk into my class, just to see. You know, and most of the time, I won't show them a lot of things because I know the struggle of like the traditional art, the way I learned it. I would teach that way and make the art select the student. You know, kasi pag pag nabato sila, hindi nila makuha yung sinasabi ko, okay, it's not for you.
correct.
You know, so only very few will stay. Yeah, kasi I mean, like I said, like when I opened my school, there's so many guys that would come in like, hey, I heard you're this and that, and you can do this. I want to see it, and I know what that means. You know, I
Correct.
want to play.
You want to
So
play?
I've had people like that several, and that's why I didn't want to teach. You know, because people will always come in and out of my school like, hey, you know, I want to see. So we play, and I think that's when Garimot started becoming more solid group here in Chicago. But I would still not teach it openly at the time. It was only like a very few.
So, who are the people behind you now? I mean, supporting you. Yes.
Right now would be one of them would be Art Juridico.
Yeah,
Robert.
Bubuyog, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Babuyog, yeah. Babuyog. Si Roberto Palos Bayudan.
Alos. Yep.
Tsaka yung kapatid niya. Tapos si Kai Kuting
Mhm.
and Andre Alon, si James Baracuda, and I have some other people that I taught before that still come around and play. But like right now we're growing a little bit kasi binigyan ko sila ng responsibility, ano, dahil medyo busy na rin ako. So I tell them like, look, you already know a lot of stuff. You need to
Expand.
expand and achieve your, kasi pag na-promote sila, ang sinasabi ko sa kanila, pag na-promote ka, it doesn't mean you're that level. You
Yep.
have to work up to that level.
Yep.
Right? So to continue improving. So ngayon, ang goal nila is to have their own apprentices. Kasi sabi sa
Nice.
kanila, I'm getting up there in age, so I don't want to start over with another apprentice.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to start over another apprentice. So every time I have somebody new, they still learn from me. Pero most of the time I push them to my guys para
Correct.
makapag deep dive sila sa art, ano. Kasi
So,
one thing I don't,
kumbaga, ikaw yung nagtitweak.
Yeah.
Sila bahala ron sa assembly.
yeah, kasi ang sabi ni ang ginagawa ko kasi pagka nakita ko na ang gilas nila sa certain part of the art, I add a little bit more layer in there. So I'm kind of like the upgrade.
Correct.
So I give them a patch of training module and say, okay, now start practicing it this way and do it this way. So it's a little different now from what you used to. That way, they always have an upper hand from the people that they're teaching, right? Kasi one thing that I noticed in other Filipino martial arts is that, oh man, somebody has talent that comes in and they know different martial arts, they're already instructors in other arts. They already have the skill level, right? But their skill level is from whatever art they were already practicing.
Correct.
Therefore, whatever they're teaching doesn't work as well because that person has a better athleticism, endurance, or fighting skill. In Garimot, we try to prevent that by, having you study a certain part diligently so that you can move up a level, so that no matter who you play with, you will always have an edge.
Yes, correct.
Right? Parang ano kasi ang like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? You know when you're rolling with a black belt or a brown belt or a purple belt.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Blue belts and white belt, they're jumpy and skittish, you probably get hurt. But when you start rolling with the higher belts, it's very soft.
You
Right?
don't get hurt, but you get tapped. You tap.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the big difference that we try to do para, like, even within the system, right? Sometimes kasi nagiging overly confident, and then they break the rules of engagement and they get hit. So like, oh, what happened there? Because you didn't maintain the rules of engagement, right? So go
Kasi
back.
di ba sa Pilipinas, sa old style or old way of teaching, tinatawag nila yung kailangan babad ka sa art.
Yes, tama.
Kaya yung mga nagturo sa atin, yung mga kagaya ko, naturuan ako ni Master Jimmy Tacosa, binabad din ako. Angle 1, outside block, sarada. 3 buwan, yun lang ginagawa ko. Wala na iba. So,
Yeah, oy, naku. My God, nung nag-umpisa ako ng Garimot, kasi nga matigas sa ulo ko, dahil hindi ko makuha. So, 3 puntos, 3 years pinag-aralan. 5 teros, 5 years, puro ganun lang. So, 5 teros, 3 puntos, at saka yung moro-moro, 1 through 10, 5 years. Tapos nung nag-start ako na mag-inquire, sabi ko, kailan ko sabi ko, oh my God. So kung 3 puntos is 3 years, 5 teros is 5 years to learn.
Paano pa yung
Moro-moro has 30 forms, right? So that means that's 30 years. Siete colores.
Meron pang 7, meron pang 12.
7 years, and then 12 will be 12 years. Oh my God.
Tapos may bulo ka pa. May bulo armas.
Yeah. Sabi ko, oh my God. But that was, thank God that wasn't the case. Kung understood ko na. So sabi ko, oh my God, kasi the guru would never move on to the next art unless hindi ko talaga alam yung curriculum, So, kasi nga, na-spoil tayo dahil sa JKD process of like, absorb what is useful, right?
Correct.
We want everything. No, give me.
Give me. Correct.
So sabi niya sa akin, I can give you whatever you want, but you will never get it. So would you rather have me teach you what you need or give you what you want? So sabi, that's such a question. That's such a question.
Gusto kong pag-usapan mo yun na kasi iba nga ang style ng pagpapakain ng estudyante dito sa Amerika. Ganun din ang aking experience dun sa estilo sa Luciana. Timog Katagalugan din sa probinsya ng Laguna. Na ang sa atin, ang maligaya na kung ano man lang ang bigay ng maestro.
Oo.
Tapos parang talagang miski butil lang, talagang ginagawang puro, distill, para bang sa lambanog, puro, right? Dito, parang halo-halo.
Oo.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Pero ang problema, yung lasa hindi masyado masarap.
Kasi tikim-tikim lang eh. Pinapatikim. Yung mga tinitikim naman, nakala nila,
I want you to talk about that.
Marami silang nakuha. Kaso actually wala.
Right.
Go ahead, Tandang.
Yeah, yun ang binalik sa akin ni Gatpuno sa traditional. Ngayon naintindihan ko na talaga ang totoong meaning ng traditional style sa moderno or yung kadaanan at saka sa modern practice nowadays. Kasi pati footwork, amba, forma, ibang-iba. Ibang-iba sila. Right? Kung makakita ka ng mga nag-i-sparring ngayon, parang kasi ngayon ang
boxing, parang silang boksingero.
Right? Boxing stances sila, di ba? So those are one of the things that we notice. I'm like, okay, traditional way, that will not work kasi bladed art, di ba? You can't jump around like that. And you see that happen in anything that turns into a sport. Like, kasi nag-iyado din ako eh. So in the art of drawing the sword, they're very still in Japanese weaponry, right? Pero pagdating ng kendo, sport,
mabilis.
Yeah, talon, di ba? So,
jittery sila, jittery. Kitang-kita mo yung telegraph. Yeah.
Kasi nakalabas na yung weapon eh.
Yeah.
Oo. Exactly.
Yung
nakagano na sila.
Yeah.
Tapos kasi yan ito si Kizai, Hirazuki, right? Yung pagtusok. Ibang-iba eh dahil kapag yung sa Iaido, wala halos kang makakita na telegram para talagang pag natikman mo na lang, hindi mo na nakita, natikman mo.
Oo.
Pinakain sa yung punyal, right?
Yeah.
Yun ang gusto kong pag-usapan mo. Maganda ang bitaw mo, wika mo, malalim eh. Saan ka sa atin?
Sa Bulacan.
Bulacan nyo rin ako.
Tingnan mo na eh.
Saan ka sa Bulacan?
Probinsya ko sa San Miguel.
Ay, talagang Talagang prom-di style ka. Chicharon.
Chicharon, yeah.
Kaya malalim ang wika mo. Okay.
Kanya yun ang na-admire ko ngayon, na yun talagang kultura ng ng traditional Arnis, right? Kasi dito bihira mo makukuha yun eh. Yung traditional ng style, lalo na sa parte ng mga Luzon, 'di ba? Dahil saturated tayo ng mga style dito ng taga
Bisaya.
Visayas, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Pero
Yeah.
yung taga Luzon, bihirang-bihirang makita.
Tago talaga. Tinatago talaga.
Kasi kahit sa weaponry lang sa mga bladed art, makikita mo sa mga Visayan style yung mga sundang nila may mga guard, di ba? Tapos tinatanong sa akin, bakit sa Laguna? Yeah, sa Laguna walang guard. Sabi ko, kasi yung distansya ng laro. Wala kasing sanggahan. Kung alam mo ang estilo, ang posisyon, hindi mo kailangang i-expose ang blade mo. Hindi mo kailangan ng guard. So, yun ang isang explanation sa mga style ng blade sa Luzon.
Masasabi mo ba, Arnel, dahil taga Bulacan ka rin, dati malalim ang tradisyon?
Hindi si Arnel.
Si Tandang, sorry. I don't know why I get you guys confused. Masasabi mo ba dahil dati malalim ang tradisyon sa Plaridel, sa Malolo, sa Hagunoy, na ito rin ang dahilan kung bakit ito namatay sa mga lugar na yun, dahil masyadong tago, na wala masyadong nakakamana, dahil masyadong kuripot?
Naging kuripot sila sa tradisyon, kasi lalo sa probinsya namin, kasi kapag taga-bukid ka, yung karunungan ng mga Arnis kinakahiya.
Yes.
Hindi
yun.
Kumbaga sa taga-ilog yan, ganyan. Ang practice niya.
Lalo na sa lugar mo, pupunta ka sa dulo ng Bulacan, pupunta sa Doña Remedios Trinidad, they kind of look down on that.
Oo. Yeah.
Exactly. Consider kasing poor man's art. Madumi, number one.
Right.
Magtuturo sa'yo,
Magsasaka. Yeah.
Yep.
Kanya
mahirap.
Ang tingin nila doon, dahil hindi taga Maynila o hindi talagang formal study, hindi nila binibigyan ng meaning ng kultura, It's like, hindi importante 'yan. Akala nila parang pang-pastime lang yan ng mga matatanda.
Saka sa tingin ko din, yung matatanda dati, kasi yung iba rito lumaban during ng, ayaw talaga nila ibigay kung kani-kanino lang.
Yeah.
Kasi delikado. Number one.
Siguro nung umalis ka nung bata ka sa Pilipinas, ang natitira na lang talaga sa Hagunoy. Lahat halos talagang patay na Kasi dati meron din sila nung sinakulo, doon sa Plaridel Bustos. Nawala yun Dahil walang nakamana Meron din sila nung moro-moro na nawala. Pero sa atin, 5 teros lang kadalasan. Hindi ka mukha ng 7 ka mukha sa Laguna.
Yeah.
Kasi nakakatawa rin, Tandang, kasi nagpunta ako sa Paete nung nagdala si guro ng mga estudyante. Siguro isang linggo't kalahati akong nandun. Nababad ako. So, pag sinabing 5 teros, di ba tayo may 5 teros kay Inosanto, may 5 teros sa lahat ng FMA dito. Walang background ng history. Samantalang sa Garimot, pag nalaman mo 5 teros, merong reasoning bakit 5 teros. Bakit may 7 colores. Bakit may 12 pares. Meron silang mga history. Pwede mo matrace. Yun na nagustuhan ko.
Yeah. At saka, ang traditional Arnis, hindi numerado. Di ba?
Yeah. Salita.
Talagang pangalan.
Salita, hindi numero salita.
Hindi,
yeah. Katulad ng buhat araw, right? Buhat araw.
Vertical.
Saboy, vertical.
Saboy, yep.
Hindi numbering system 'yan. So by the meaning of the style or the strike gives you a lot already, right? Kasi dito Number one is number one,
Correct.
right? Pero ang buhat araw, what does that really mean?
What
From
does
the
that
sun.
really mean? Yeah.
From the
Ang
sun.
buhat araw sa atin, okay, buhat araw, pababang ganyan, di ba?
Yeah.
Also, it's a strategy. That means you put the sun behind your shoulder
Correct.
Para
para
masilaw.
masilaw ang kalaban.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Buhat
Oh.
araw also means you use the shadow, depending on the time, you use your opponent's shadow to do the measuring,
To the measuring.
right? So
Tapos
you can
pwede mo rin
measure-
gamitin yung shadow mo para ma-measure yung
Oo.
sa kanya. Tama.
Yeah. So,
Talino mo.
pag sinabi namin buhat araw, alam mo na yung code, right?
Yep.
Hindi ka tulad na, number one. Okay, number one is number one. So, mas deeper ang meaning ng mga estilo ng ng mga naming convention natin. Meron talagang karunungan, hindi lang pangalan.
Sa
Katulad
numero.
ng,
Yep.
Oo, katulad ng tayong yung patutok, right? Tapos meron pa yung crane stance, di ba? Yung binakaw.
Yeah.
There is deeper meaning to it and why we do it. Ang palagi ko nakikita is nami-mix nila yung tayong pabinakaw at saka tayong patutok. Patutok is more of a cat stance.
Cat
Binakaw
stance.
is not. Yeah? Binakaw is not. So yun, for the beginners, they mix that up and they don't know the difference and how it works in an actual combat. So pag naintindihan na nila, now nakikita mo na yung flavor ng energy ng mga tayo nila. So may express mo na ngayon at magagamit mo dahil you can differentiate the meaning of those stances and the way they work. Each one has multiple application, pero ibig sabihin, just because nakapatuto ka, it's not a defensive stance because you can add pressure or you can produce pressure just being defensive and vice versa. So pag naintindihan mo yung interplay ngayon ng mga tayo na yun, that's what gives it the traditional flavor ng Paete Arnis.
Saka yung duro, di ba? Pag nagduro ka, there's a defensive and offensive na you just have to feel it. Hindi mahirap explain. Kasi pwede ka magduro, but nothing happens. But the way we duro in Garimot, pag ikaw dinuduro, mahirap.
Oo. Kasi
So,
ang mahirap i-develop kasi yung sensitivity without touch, right?
correct.
But in Chisaw, sensitivity is developed by skin contact. In traditional Arnis, that's hard to explain, right? Kasi you only see that in another art like the European fencing and like back in the day with Miyamoto Musashi, right? That sensitivity to distance, that's hard to teach. That's very hard to pick up. Kasi there is
Saka
no
parang nag-develop ka ng force field, na kailangan sensitive ka kasi pag may pumasok doon, kailangan gumalaw. You have to do something.
Exactly, right?
And developing that is a skill.
Mm-hmm. If somebody steps in that bubble, you can get them, right?
Yep.
So depende sa tayo mo, para kang nagkakas ka ng net, di ba, ng web. If they step in a certain area, you can reach them. You
Yep.
know, it doesn't, you don't have to move around.
I guess mahirap i-ano sa Tagalog eh. Parang naramdaman mo yung pagod kasi yung utak mo is working overtime because you can feel that guy's pressure lalo na kung ang nakasparing mo yung pulido. Kasi you have a battle of intellectual wit, like almost like in chess. Kung sino yung mas tama yung measure, where maybe he's like a stick and a half distance and he's gonna attack you. Now I gotta move this way, but then sa utak mo, it will present you maybe like an iteration of 4 different positions or maybe more. Parang napapagod ka sa pag-iisip. But at the same time, kumikilos ka, kaya talagang like doble yung yung tiredness. So I think there's like a feeling of that, like a feeling of yung pressure, even though you're not touching each other.
Yeah, kasi it's a mental pressure na siya, di ba? Hindi na siya yung like physical pressure.
Physical pressure. Yep.
Right? Yung mental pressure nangyayari, like you said, if your concentration na disturb ang concentration mo, like katulad ng directa corta, right? Directa corta is probably one of the highest concept of Garimot and Paete, Arnis, di ba? Kasi directa corta can only be applied if you are sensitive to your partner or your opponent. Pag nagkaroon siya ng mental break, then you can do directa corta without even evading, right? It's an interception. So when it comes to JKD, that's basically the concept of what Bruce Lee was trying to say, like the intercepting fist, right? Anything with a direct attack that you can intercept an attack, that's directa corta.
Yep.
And it's really not a technique. You know what I mean?
Yes, correct.
That's why it's hard to teach it, because like people are like, well, show me the technique. It's not a technique, but
It's not
that's
a
how you
technique.
do it, right? Kasi sa amin, when I teach, pag nagtuturo ako, sinasabi ko sa mga estudyante ko, don't look for techniques from me because I have abandoned a lot of techniques. To us, what we do is measurement is obviously important, diba? The when, the why, the how is the order of how you approach an encounter. So, kung na-understand mo yan, strategy takes over. You don't go with a technique or what technique you're going to use or how you're going to do it. If you know the rules and you don't break it, it becomes a law, right? You apply that law each time, it should work in theory 100% of the time. But once you master that as a law, you can do it all the time. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Now, the higher players will break laws and still pull it off. There's a big difference. So it goes back in circle. Pero pagka ginamit mo ang technique agad, you give so much information kasi yung pressure, especially if there's contact, right? Kasi ang sinasabi nila, oh, bakit sila nakatayo lang, nag-iintayan lang, walang contact, hindi sumasabong ng, they don't grab each other and,
Oh, bat mabagal.
right?
Yeah.
Because when you do that, when you run towards me, you're giving me a lot of information. That first step, that first twitch of the shoulder, that position already gives me a lot of information. So like Paete fighters, that's a lot of information. Pag tumayo ka ng like leaning forward, right? Like Mayor, he's applying pressure, moving in,
Yeah.
and trying to reach and trying to sucker you into another counter. So it's a mental game, not a technique game. And again, if you're not used to a game like that, ang nangyayari is para kang nagiging kangkarot, paikot-ikot ka kasi you have to figure out how to get in on somebody who just stands there, right? Yep. I mean, a lot of people always talk about like the samurais back in the day, like, oh, two samurai fighters, they met, they draw their swords and they just stood still. After about a while, they walk away from each other because they couldn't find an opening.
Correct.
They could not find an opening, right? So Garimot is that way. Pagka alam mo na ang tayo ay sigurado, measure siya, hindi ka talaga makakapasok, mahirap. Atras ka. Kailangan mo mag-iba ka ng posisyon, di ba? So, that part ng Arnis, traditional Arnis, is not
Taught a lot.
It's not
You can't
taught.
see it.
You cannot see it.
Tama.
It's hard to get people to like it.
Yep.
Kasi walang nangyayari. Dito sa America, what you notice is like pag maraming kilos ang kamay, maraming disarm kang pinapakita, yun ang gusto nila kasi yun ang nagiging magic right? Gutom ang mata sa makakita ng ganun Pag walang nangyayari, ay hindi maganda. Sasabihin nila, oh, hindi effective yan. I mean, how many times do I get in YouTube like comments like, oh, I want to see that do in real life. I'm like, dude, all you have to do is go through my YouTube channel, you'll see me sparring. It's not like it's not out there. So yeah.
Saka ang part talaga ng magic, hindi tayo gumagalaw masyado.
Oo.
Hindi tayo tamaan. Yun ang magic talaga Yung magic na mag-disarm ka madidevelop naman
And that's last. Technique is always going to be last. So that's why, like I tell my students, when you see a disarm in one of my videos, that's because that's last. That's not my priority. It just happens.
It just happens, right? Kagaya rin nung natutunan ko, sabi nga, situational ang mga laban. Kaya hindi ka pwedeng lumaban na nasa utak mo, itong technique ito gagamitin ko. Kasi hindi mo alam kung cooperative yung kalaban mo eh. So situational talaga, depende sa tayo, sa posisyon ng sandata niya, kung paano mo siya lalabanan.
Exactly.
Saka bumibilis yan, di ba? I mean, the last time we met, we had a group fight, remember? Hinati ni Guru yung estudyante.
Oo.
I think we end up with the same team. Mabilis ang laban. Mabilis ang paluan kasi everybody knows already how to measure fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about hairline, miss.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Tsaka pagka, sa Garimot, pagka malalaman mo, naiintindihan mo ng isang player ang system, at saka magaling sila dahil walang masyadong aksyon. Garimot is the only system where I see where the better you are, the less action. Kasi hindi ka makakita ng opening eh.
Alam mo na
naging bara-bara na lang.
Nung una kong camp, nagpunta ako dun sa sangga ako ng sangga kasi sarada, sangga ng sangga, di ba? Maganda yung laro ko, kaso wala masyadong compliment. Nung talaga naintindihan ko na yung Garimot, nung lumalaban na ako na hindi ako masyado sumasangga, yung lumapit kayo na sinasabi na, very good, naintindihan mo ng konti. It took me probably 5 years also. Kasi kaya ko na naintindihan nung bumisita ako sa Paete, na-meet ko yung kapatid ni Guru, si Dan. Sabi sa akin, ano ba gusto mong matutunan? Laban o drill o laro-laro? Sabi ko gusto ko laban. So pumosisyon siya, buhat araw. Sabi niya, pasukin mo ako. Hindi ako makapasok. Gulong-gulo utak ko. May camera pa. May kaibigan pa ako nag-film. Nung natawa ko sa kanya, naintindihan mo? Oo, nung habang tinuturo, ngayon wala na siya, hindi ko na alam. So kahit anong review ko dun sa video, hindi ko pa rin makuha.
Yeah. Kasi nga, pag nakikita mo sa video, it's not the same as having them in front of you. That's the only time you will understand the impression na somebody in front of you. Now, pag pinanood mo ngayon yung video, I'm like, okay, katulad ko, I always try to remember the feel, right? Kasi sabi ni Guru, ganito ang feel niyan. Hindi yung ganito ang technique. Ganito ang papalaging i-induce mo sa kalaban mo is yung ganitong pakiramdam na parang hindi siya makalapit talaga na wala mapapasok, di ba? Kahit iniisita mo na siya. Yeah? Yun ang concept na hindi matuturo na like through video without actually meeting somebody who can do it to you.
Correct.
Pero pagka naranasan mo na, pinanood mo ngayon yung video, ganun mo tatandaan. Ganun ang, ang feeling na, oh shit, man, talaga hindi ka makapasok. Kasi,
alam mo, tama ka.
Yeah.
I tried to explain Garimot, but I explained it in a different way. Actually, the way you explained it now, it gives me another layer to make it better to explain. Salamat.
Yeah.
Kasi mahirap ituro. Mahirap ituro. Eh ako, lower ranking pa lang ako. So, mahirap talaga.
Yeah. Kasi nga, hindi yung...
Julius, ikaw, nakapag-practice ka rin ito nung Guru Paete went to your place, right?
Yeah, nakita ko yung may cross commonality yung mga talagang probinsya kasi yung estilo ng Laguna na alam ko yung Luciana pero high up kami. Ang pagkakaintindi ko dun sa yung Cinco Terros is a little bit different from Cinco Terros, but yung Cinco Terros na alam ko yung sa Hagunoy, which is yung sa karunungan ng larong Arnis by Yambao, which he hit that in there kasi yung sa Bulacan is also very measure heavy, but it's dead.
Nawala si Tandang.
Nawala siya.
That's okay. He might go back in.
Yeah, so maganda kilos ni Gatpuno is just he's a true master. He's a true grandmaster.
Yeah. Actually, maganda nga na naituro din kay Tandang kasi it's a gem. I mean, he's a gem sa Midwest, sa Chicago. He's leading the group up there, you know.
Yeah, ibang-iba yung ano niya eh. The thing is like, kung ikaw outside looking in, sanay ka dun sa bara-bara na estilo ng Arnis, hindi mo magugustuhan. Dahil wala masyadong, parang maboboard ka, parang maaantok ka. Antukin, di ba? Narcoleptic ka. Pero kung ikay talagang may alam, ng miski kaunti lang, nung mismong relosteros, kasi di ba, ang turo ng Kastila, merong bilog na doon sa gitna, right? May mga posisyon doon sa bilog na yun, doon sa the sides of that clock and even the small hand and then the long arm na I can hit you but you can't hit me.
Correct.
Right? Kung wala kang alam nun, mapapatungo ka na lang pag rapido ka, right? Kasi bigla ka lang tatamaan. Paano ako natamaan? Akala ko malayo na ako. Right?
Saka kaibahan kasi, how do I explain this? Kasi pag dalawang tao nakatayo, ganyan, di ba? Pag sinabing gumalaw, hindi ka tumatama, hindi sila nagsesway.
Wala.
Kasi iba pagka hindi na ibang tao eh. Pagka hindi ng tao, titira tong isa, magsesway siyang ganito, papalo to, magsesway siya paalis. Siyempre hindi ka tatamaan, kaso gumalaw ka.
Wala silang concept ng pendulum. Tsaka wala rin silang concept, karamihan ng mga walang alam. May level change, may at least, if yung 3 main category groups, 3 eh. Pero mas marami pa dun, right? Kasi meron yung ulo mo, yung torso, yung paa.
Correct.
Tapos meron pa din yung, yung your heel, your toe, your knee. But if you don't understand it, you won't get it, you know?
Yeah, ang pinakamalaking kaibahan talaga na nakita ko, na natutunan ko ang largamano kay, meron silang swaying. Nagsesway. So pag pumalo ka, sway sila patras, mga ganon. Ang Paete, pag gumalaw, pumapalo, hindi tumatama. Pag pumalo sila, dito pa rin ang posisyon. Papalo sila dito, hindi sila magsesway. Tatamaan ka. Dito, walang sway.
Maligaya ako, pumunta ako at nakita ko yung sa kanya dahil hindi ko naiintindihan dati yung aklat na pinamana sa akin eh. Kasi may mga iba't ibang drawing dun. Meron dun yung 3 picos, meron dun 8-8. Di ko naiintindihan kung ano yung, okay, so anong kilos ko pag nandito ako sa alas 3? Anong kilos ko pag nandito ako sa alauna at alas 11? I didn't understand that because maramot talaga, that's how people are. Like, that's how the old guys are.
Sa kadamihan kasi, pag pinanood mo din ang ibang fencing style, di ba? Sumusubsub din sila pag pumalo.
Oh, gumaganon sila eh.
Yep.
Yung nakaganyan.
Yeah.
Nakaganon.
Subsub ang ulo.
Yeah. Which makes
yun ang hindi mo makikita sa Paete. Kahit na sabihin mong ang fencing, para siyang nakahaluan na siguro ng fencing, kaso walang subsub ang ulo.
Wala.
Yun ang,
Kaya natatawa ako nga eh. Huwag naman magagalit yung mga ibang kasama natin naglalaro ng Arnis. Palaging nakayuko. Pinagtatawan ako lang eh. Iniisip ka, pag ginamit yung laro ng team mo katagalon, tatamaan kita sa ulo, buhat araw ka lang dun eh.
Actually,
ba't kayo yuko?
Nung sarada ako, lagi akong naka-subsub ang ulo.
Yung sa
Sinasabi nga din sa akin ni Guru.
Halimbawa sa boxing, kasi di ba yung tinuturo nung iba, kailangan maglagay ka daw ng tennis.
Yeah.
Tapos ilalagay mo dun sa sa chin mo. Ang turo naman ng mas matanda pang estilo ng boxing, yung mga nakilala namin dun sa wildcard na they've been around, pre-World War II pa eh. Wag naman daw masyadong nakaibaba yung baba dahil lumalapit yung ulo mo eh.
Saka yung vision mo, wala na
Oo,
rin.
kasi yung peripheral mo sumasara. Right? So kailangan nga minsan maganda yung may estilo na naka-high up yung stance nila, na nakaganyan ka lang. Parang naglalakad ka. Right? So meron ding concept ang empty hand noon dati. The
Correct.
problem is naging sportify eh.
Yeah.
Kaya wala na. Ano nangyari sa kanya?
Okay, folks, just wala si Tandang Garimot kasi naglalakad lang sa buho. Hinihintay yung anak niya. So, hopefully he comes back on. Habang naghihintay tayo, usap muna tayo, JV. So, our topic is Tandang Garimot. Actually, nagsimula siya Chinese martial arts, Tai Chi, and then he launched into Inosanto's curriculum.
Blend.
Blend, yeah. Kasi back then, iba-ibang FMA ang kumbaga ang pinoproject ni
Guru Dan.
Guru Dan. So I believe on the earlier stage was Sarada, then Sarada went away, then other styles came in until it became flamenco, you know. So kaya multi-system talaga, multi-FMA ang kinakalabasan, you know.
Ang gusto kong malaman sa kanya, anong kinakain niya kasi kung sa Miguel siya, lagi may chicharon tsaka pastillas. So anong Chicago equivalent ng Eurobake sa taga Bulacan siya. I wanna know.
Yun nga, meron pa tayong bullet questions and answers. Hindi natin alam kung
ano nangyari. Nabigla na lang siyang
messaging him on a messenger kaso wala pang sagot. You know what? Maybe because kasi naka-cellphone lang siya. Maybe he ran out of battery.
So iniintay niya yung anak niya na pick up sa trabaho?
Meron natang practice. I can remember now. He mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
So, yung anak niya tinuturuan niya rin. Magaling na rin mag-garimot. So,
malaki na ba anak niya?
Oh, yeah. So, Tandang actually is in Chicago area, Midwest. Just for folks na hindi alam ang Midwest, ang hirap magturo sa Midwest kasi walang tumatagal. Dahil walang tumatagal na school. FMA, you name it. Even Muay Thai back then is hard to propagate. Ngayon lang medyo dahil sa MMA, dumarami ang Muay Thai school. But back then, it's very small. You know, the only way to learn is going to, let's say, Dagenberg, going to Ajahn Chai. Yeah, he ran out of battery. That's what I thought. So he's probably charging.
So
He'll be back. We'll give it about, when he gets back, let's do a quick 10 minutes so we can wrap up.
Natatawa ako. Speaking of, kasi yung pinag-uusapan niya, kasi even in empty hand, dati may concept ang boxing nun, kaya namatay na dahil karamihan ng mga nakakaalam, they died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't get to pass on. Pero in old boxing, you kind of see it in Elorde style. Kasi pag nakakita mo yung ano ni Elorde, yung sinasabi ni Tandang na it's not an invisible force field. Yun ang ginagawa mo measurement. So meron kang bubble, right? Yung stance na boxing, ganyan, right?
Yeah.
Minsan kaya nakataas yung dito dahil you're blocking the field of view of your opponent para nila makita yung galaw ng balikat mo.
Yes.
That's why you hold your fist like this, right? And then your elbow is always pointing down to protect your rib. Pero pag nakita mo yung lumang style ni Elorde, that's not how he does his stance. Yung stance niya, yung kanyang lead hand nakaganito. So ganyan ang hawak niya. Yun ang range finder niya. So he would pop in. Sometimes he won't even he wouldn't even do a full force jab. He would just throw it like this to get his range. Tapos makita mo yung balikat niya nakaganto dito, gagawin niya nakaganyan eh. And then he would jut his butt out para pag jab mo nakaganito. and then even extend it sometimes this way, where he would do it high like that. But it's not a full force commitment one. He just threw it there para malaman niya kung gaano kalayo ka. And then so where we can touch, he can touch you with 20%, 40%, or like a full force jab, like a Sonny Liston jab.
Yeah.
That art's gone in boxing. Wala na nun. Bihirang-bihira
Kasi-
na nakakaalam.
Sa totoo lang, pag pumasok ka ng boxing ngayon, full mitt ka agad, di ba?
Yeah.
Touch ka agad, jab, cross. Tapos lalagyan ng hook up. Natanda ko noon, nakalimutan ko na yung pangalan eh. He was a famous coach ng boxing. Meron siyang heavyweight na tinuturuan. Pinuntahan ko siya. So, puro kagad sa akin is paano yung posisyon ng sabi niya, para ka nagbabasketball. Yan, nakaganyan. Sabi niya, dito yung butas. Papapasukin mo dito. Pag pumasok siya, dito, ang counter. Yan. So, pinapractice ko yung gano'n versus ganito, di ba? Kanya ganito. Or ganito. Para kang may hawak na bola. Nagpapalit lang siya gano'n. Isang explanation niya para daw yung cobra. Pumasok ka sa gitna, tutuklawin ka ng dalawa. Versus sa ganito.
Tsaka mali rin yung ano eh, kasi ano ba, yung kasi ang popular na estilo ngayon, yung kamukha nung kay Mayweather, yung kanyang Philly shell. Kasi pagkakaintindi ng karamihan ng tao, ito ilalagay mo dito para takpan siyan mo. Dito, catch and counter para pag nagtapon sila ng jab, catch mo, tapos tatapon mo yung sayo, right? Ang inisip ng karamihan ng tao, yung shoulder, igaganon mo yung katawan mo para balikat. That's only one strategy.
One strategy, correct.
Yung isang strategy, pag sumuntok dyan, kasi parang yung shield mo eh, right?
Yeah.
Pataas na ganun. Ibabagsak mo yung torso mo dito. So, para sumalang yung yung shot. So,
correct.
hindi ganyan. Kasi nakatalikod ka, pwede ka matamaan sa brainstem,
Yeah.
right?
Ganito.
Ganun. Itataas mo ganyan. Mali ang maraming misinterpretation din nila alam eh.
Actually, nung bago ako nag-boxing, ang style ko sa taekwondo, ganoon. Ganun ang style ko sa nung nag-taekwondo ko, ganito. So pag sumipa ka, either tinataas ko lang to, or tinataas ko to.
Yan. Nung natuto ka ng style ng Cobra, ito parang salang, right? Pag nag-shot ka, parang meron kang mangkok sa kamay mo, and you're going like that. Like yeah, that's it.
So, basic ng uppercut, di ba? Paano ba nag-basic ng uppercut, di ba? Throw an egg.
Yeah.
So, what's that? Salang.
Salang, yeah. Salok-saboy, right?
Saboy, correct.
Yeah.
Or gagawin mo lang, isasara mo lang yung kamay mo. Saboy mo.
Yeah. Yeah. Tsaka marami sila misinterpretation. Kamukha in Sportify, ba? Magja-jab ka. Laging sila sabi, you gotta turn with the shot, right? Hindi. Pag natutunan mo yung luma, yung kamukha yung kay Joe Louis o kaya yung tinuturo ni Roach o kaya ni Nacho Beresten, hindi. Pag mag-shooting ka, ikaw ang kalaban ang hindi mo ito turn yung wrist mo. Ang tama mo sa jab, pupuntirihin mo yung opposite side na mata. Bakit? Kasi pag pinuntirya ko yung opposite side na mata mo,
makikita.
Hindi mo na makikita yung susunod na suntok, right?
Correct.
Kasi hinarang ko eh. And then when I try to shoot for your eye, sometimes I would open the glove. So ngayon, black ka na. Hindi mo na makikita yung straight na natatama. There's a lot of misinterpretation. That is because it got too sportified.
Nawala yung distansya. Nawala yung playing distance.
Yep.
You know. Kaya sila Machenko, tuwan-tuwa yung mga boksingero kasi magaling siya magtago yung distansya. Ang lapit-lapit niya, hindi siya tamaan. Bakit? Kasi he understands footwork.
He understands measure. Yeah, he understands measure and distance and range.
And placement. Right? Hindi lang kasi distansya. Minsan, lapit niya eh. Mali lang yung angulo ng kalaban. Kaya hindi siya makasuntok.
Si Ward, magaling din dati dun eh. Kasi alam nila kung saan distansya magtatapon ng suntok. Tsaka alam din nila kung ano yung susunod na suntok na dapat nilang itapon. Because pag natamaan ka dun sa ulo, kikilos ka dito, right? The opponent will move here. They know what shot to throw next time and then how much distance they need to backpedal. That's one thing that most people neglect to see when they watch them fight. What they need to pay attention to is when they got a guy hurt, pay attention to how their both feet, particularly the back foot, moves just a little bit so that they're in perfect range to throw the power shot.
The power
Kasi
shot.
kapag masyado ka malapit, smother mo yung suntok mo eh. You smother your own shot, right? Magaling si Lomachenko. It's so beautiful watching him.
Parang tingnan mo,
Mm.
in old traditional, let's not talk about just specific Garimot. Pag old style, buhat araw, you spend a lot of time doing buhat araw kasi malakas yung palo na yun. You know, you need to learn how to hit, number one. And then as a defender, you need to learn how to avoid it and give a counter attack without giving away your position. Ang hirap ng ang old way of teaching. Kaso babad ka talaga. You need to be really, people really have to explain to you what angle one
Kaya,
or buhat
kaya
araw.
nga, it's very rare to have, people don't understand how lucky they are when you have like guys like Gat, si Paete, ikaw, si Tandang, si Alex.
Alex,
Natuto ka ng luma. Kaya iba eh. Parang parang yung nagkakalburo ka or even like yung naglalambanog ka. Yung distillation 100% eh.
correct, 100%.
Dahil binabaw puro hindi Bazooka Joe bubblegum na lambanog na bullshit.
Correct. So yun talaga, actually yung journey namin ni Tandang halos parehong-pareho. Nagkaroon kami ng common friend na nag-link. Ibang path yung dinaanan niya. Nagpunta siya ng Garimot. Ako naman nagpunta ng ako sa Sarada. Kaso yung common friend namin nasa gitna. Which his base, his solid base is Inosanto style. So karamihan, pag tinanong ako, marunong ka ba yan? Yeah, marunong ako ng basic. Marunong ako ng basic ng shoot, ng Thai boxing, ng tinsak silat. You name all the flavors that Guru Dan Inosanto has, I've learned dahil kay Eugene Amante.
Ano pangalan niya? Eugene
Amante.
Buhay pa siya?
Unfortunately passed. So, actually, kaya ako nalaman, nag-post si Guru Paete. And then I saw his picture, I go, oh shit, that's Eugene. Kaso si Eugene mahilig talaga sa grappling. Since I met him, he likes shoot fighting. So he likes to do the buno. That's where he spent a lot of time versus the distance stick fighting. Kasi in that you can go stick fighting, you can do mid-range, largo, or buno. There's different sections that you can be expert. Pinili ni Eugene is the buno. Saka dati pa I mean, back then, wala nang masyadong complication ng mga grappling, Gracie. It's so basic. Chicken wing, Americana, rear naked. There's not a lot of complex moves.
No.
And then in shoot fighting, you learn drills like flow. You flow from one lock to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yun nga, yung mga high level black belt sa Brazil, yun ang pansin mo. Of course, nagbago na dahil may Dana Herdette squad na eh. Pero ang pansin mo kung ikaw ay talagang, you have one ear to the grappling side like I have, kasi I wrestled in high school, right? The one thing that you would notice, I'm also a belter in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but not a black belt. The one thing you notice about the high level black belts in Brazil, yun lang halos ang ginagawa nila. Pag talagang napakataas na ng rango nila, they have multiple like levels on the black belt, they drill a lot.
Correct.
I would say like the older people, the older generation is like probably like 90-something% is drill, and then they would only do maybe 10% rolling around, like randori, like maybe 5 or 10%. Kaya that's the reason why their skill set is so high, kasi alam na nila kung ano yung susunod na kilos mo because they've drilled that so many times. Nasa muscle memory na nila.
Saka nakita nila how many several times, especially if they roll with a lower belt. Kasi lower belt will kind of attack you the same way over and over.
Just madaling mapagod too. Dahil palaging bara-bara. Palaging nanggagalaite.
Correct.
Pansin mo, pag nakapag-roll ka na even a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is very yung tender.
Yeah. So when I was actually white belt in PJJ, yung mga locks na natutunan ko sa Tang Sudo, sa Aikido, ginamit ko sa ground. So it's effective. Ang problema, naisip ko, para ako nandadaya kasi small manipulation ang ginagamit ko eh. You know.
Bawal sa BJJ yun.
Yeah. Actually, di ba meron ang isang drill sa self-defense, hawak dito, over the top, roll the shoulder, armbar.
Para
so,
mawasak yung shoulder.
Ako. Siyempre, tama yung nasa dibdib ko. Hinula ko, bumagsak, nirap ko, hinikot ko, tap siya. Hindi siya makawala.
Yeah.
But that's a Tang Sudo lock. You know.
Okay, Ezekiel is basically like a choke from the bottom. Malalaman mo yun sa mga ibang dumog style sa Pilipinas, but that's a more of an advanced move.
Ang na-notice ko lang, sa dami ng mga locks that's happening, some of the people forgot the basic, like the can openers and whatnot. You know, the neck crank from the bottom.
Hindi kasi they kasi because of sportification. Binan nila yun eh. They don't want to use that in BJJ. Yung mga leg lock was not allowed. Tsaka yung neck crank. Kasi it's a danger. Whether we like it or not, it's dangerous.
Yeah. So ngayon, may mga nakakaroon ako na ginamit ako ng can opener or whatever. Hindi nila makawala. Sabi ko, that's the basic. You know, pag hindi mo alam yung basic, then you know.
Yeah. Ano, nasa na siya? Ano nangyari sa kanya?
He's probably recharging. So, but it's, maybe we'll set up another interview with him next time.
Sige.
So folks, pasensya na lumampas kasi kami ng isang oras. He's using his cell phone. So, maybe we'll do a part 2 of Tandang. Maganda yung conversation. Maybe we'll do a later interview with him. So folks who are watching, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button at YouTube, June and Paul Show. Any last word from you, Julius?
Dapat may part 2.
Bitin di ba?
Bitin kasi I came from work and then puta na gumaganda na yung konversasyon ng todo tapos bigla siyang nawala. Pastillas sa Chicharon. Dapat yung sunod na pag-usapan.
Yeah. We'll get him the second time. He's easy to talk to anyway. Any events at your area, Julius?
If you are in the LA area, tomorrow you should go to Tarzana. There is not a punk rock, but a goth rock concert. A couple people, FMAers are going to be there. Dominion Band. It's going to be the last call in Tarzana is where you should go. The last call. That's in Reseda Boulevard in Tarzana. Y'all ever watch Karate Kid? That's where that's at. The fictional. So yeah.
Coach Narzo is in California. So if you guys want to learn Kali Ulistrissimo, Kiro, there's a lot of posts on Facebook on dates and seminar events happening around the US. Any other events happening this weekend for you?
Ito na yun. I don't know if we can focus. I don't know. Maybe I should include it in the link, but I'll just read it out. Rocking Minds, Saving Lives, Mental Health, Suicide Prevention, Mixed Rock Benefits. So September 15, Friday at 8 p.m. in the last call. So it's going to be a lot of bands there, and then several of those band members are Filipino martial arts practitioners. So
Awesome. Also coming up, we have a lot of guests coming to our show. I think June has the next show, right?
yeah.
With,
The thing
go ahead.
with the thing that we should look out for next month, because we're really stacked. That's a stacked card for the month of October. But outside of that, kung kayo ay mahilig kay Kabayan Noli, magaling din kami mag-imita because that is really how we speak in private. Gagawa kami ng magandang gabi bayan undas episode para sa kababalaghan, para lang sa inyo.
Nice.
Mga istorya ng kababalaghan ng mga different arnisadors. And then you're gonna like that.
Yep, that's October, right?
That's October. That's undas. We're gonna
Yeah,
release that
Undas,
episode.
yeah. So Tuesday, September 19th, we have June leading on this interview with Datu Shashir.
AKA Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That will be a nice interview.
Yeah,
Right.
and his son is also a kind of a famous voice actor that does a lot of voices for kids shows in Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So we'll
Mhm.
ask him about that.
And also the following week after that, it will be a special guest. We have Monsieur,
World champion in Taekwondo.
correct, and a dedicated practitioner of Kiro.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So you want to lead on that? I'll give you the.
No, pareho tayo. We come from the what's his name? The dark Jedi, the Sith Lord of Taekwondo. That's our lineage.
Yeah, that's right. Tatlo.
Yeah, all three of us is what's his name? General Che Hong Hee.
Yeah,
He's the
that's how I
only
learned it.
he's the only douchebag who actually defected to the north. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. So all three of us should be there. All of us.
Yeah, I know. I think June is planning to be there. It's actually, guys, it's gonna be a nighttime in the Philippines, morning for us. Sorry, June, it's gonna be too early for you.
No, it's okay. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Have to.
Yeah, that will be fun, and I'm just so happy that he accepted our request.
Let me ask, is it a on the record, is it a surprise that we're doing some type of kitchen show, or are we supposed to talk about that or no?
No, actually, it's not a surprise. We're doing an adobo show.
Okay, cool. Kala ko
So-
secret eh. Kala ko secret.
Actually, yung secret dapat is si Monsieur, but it's already out there. It's, the flyer has been spread. I'm trying to hide it, but it's too late.
Yeah, yun
It's out there.
talaga yung magluto tayo ng adobo. That's really,
Yeah, actually, ang gagawin kong adobo is adobo sa dilaw, which a lot of people from Taal is the way we cook adobo. I think June is gonna be adobo sa toyo, but he's using pork.
I think what I should do is yung sa amin. Kasi yung
Hey,
yung
He's
family.
back.
Yeah.
Tandang's back.
Oh, Tandang, kamusta? Bitin.
Sorry.
Bitin.
Bitin. Oh, where did you get how did you charge your phone? Oh, you're on mute, bro. Let me
Unmute yourself. Yeah, you can unmute him.
Okay.
So ayan, okay na.
Ayan, good. Okay na.
Yeah.
Nawala na. We were worried.
Oh man. Yeah,
It's an awesome interview, man. Thanks for coming back. So
yeah.
we were actually about to wrap up, but it's okay.
So that's fine. Yeah, we can continue for a
Okay.
few more.
Let's do a bullet question and answer. Quick 10 questions, and then Julius has some stuff for you. So bullet questions. Just don't think about it. Whatever you pick, no explanation answered. Okay, number one. Banana Q or turon?
Banana Q.
Bang! Okay. Next. do you rather, mas gusto mo ba Filipino martial arts or Philippine martial arts?
Filipino martial arts.
Is it a FMA or PMA?
Oh, FMA.
Largo or media corto?
Largo.
Handgun or AR?
Ano yan?
Handgun or
Oh,
AR?
handgun. Handgun.
Traditional teaching or modern teaching?
Modern.
Traditional learning or modern learning?
Traditional.
Folks, those are two different questions. So if you don't understand that, rewind the question. So there's those two different ones. Good answer, by the way. Those are the questions for the bullet question and answer. Julius, anything for Tandang?
Yeah, ito, sandali lang. Kasi taga Bulacan ka. You know,
Oh.
wala namang Eurobake dito. Walang pastillas at walang chicharones. Mag-recommend ka naman ng mga magagandang lugar dyan sa Midwest na pwedeng kainin o mapuntahan dito sa Amerika na parang style Eurobake, na masarap na pastillas o style na masarap na chicharon kamukha sa San Miguel.
Oh my God. Wala kasing lugar dito na ganyan. Talagang local na San Miguel dito. Pero meron dito kung pinupuntahan kami. Tita Mia. Koreano ang owner niya. Tapos ang asawa ay Pilipino. Pero napakasarap ng mga Tagalog na pagkain. Order
may
kayo
ibang,
na- Yeah. Order kayo kaldereta, kare-kare, tsaka pinakbet. Napakasarap.
kung hindi naman kailangan sa Midwest lang, meron ka na bang napuntahan sa dito sa Amerika na parang kasing tumbas na gano'n luto sa atin? Masarap ang luto sa atin sa Central Catagalugan eh.
Oh my God. Ang natutumbasan lang niya yung luto ni Gatpuno Abon. Kasi chef siya. So,
Oh yeah. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam,
oo.
Gatpuno is a chef.
Yeah. So, lahat ng mga Katagalugan na pinagkakainan ko, makaluto ni Guru Abon, napakasarap. So, doon ako spoiled.
Ikaw, meron ka bang mga recipe na sariling sa iyo lamang?
Yeah, ang ginagamit ko ngayon sa adobo ay instead na toyo, at saka suka, regular suka, ang ginagamit ko ngayon ay a little bit of oyster sauce at saka yung ano ba tawag doon, balsamic vinegar instead na paumbong na suka.
Sige. Ang style niya parang Robin siya pati buhok.
Mahal balsamic sa Pilipinas.
Ang style niya parang Robin siya, mukha ni Robin yung buhok niya.
Oh, by the way, we talked about FMA firearms. You also can draw.
Yeah.
Magaling na mag-drawing yan.
So, art ang talagang yun ang first passion ko talaga, yung magpinta at mag-drawing. Yun ang
Tandang,
first passion ko.
magkakaigi tayo. Alam mo ba na kilala ko si Manong Alex ninyo?
Hindi, sorry.
Mahilig ka ba sa mga comics?
Oo.
Dati kilala ko sila.
Kilala ko talaga?
Mga pumunta dito nung dekada 60-70, yung mga di ba si Manong Nestor, si Alfredo Alcala, si Manong Alex.
Yun na, dinig ko na yung pangalan nun. Pero kasi alam mo, napakabata ko pa nun, hindi ko pa kilala yung mga ganun. Ang nababasa ko lang dati kasi yung funny comics.
Oo, si Combatron.
Oh yeah, tapos si Zuma, anak ng Zuma.
Pugad Baboy.
Hindi ko na yata.
Hindi mo na naabutan si Pugad Baboy.
Anak ni Zuma, mahaba yung comics na. So, sa mga hindi taga Pilipinas, dati may sari-sari store kami. Sinasabit namin yung mga comics.
Nire-renta.
Renta ka.
Renta.
I don't see that anymore.
Yeah, no.
You know.
Tsaka yung song hits. So,
yeah,
song hits.
Song hits, yeah.
So nagtatrabaho ka ba sa comics o nagko-commission ka ng art?
Ngayon parang instruction ang binagawa ko ngayon, pero yung drawing binabalikan ko ngayon kasi it's something that I I want to really get back into. And
pakitaan mo lang kami bago kami umalis patapos na ang ating kabanata. Pakitaan mo kami ng mga ng gawa mo.
Wala ata siyang dala.
Wala.
Nasa mall yan. Actually, gumawa siya ng comics, parang instruction kay Gat Puno, paano siya sinisigawan.
Yeah. So,
I love that picture that you did.
alam mo kasi ang plano ko nun dati para madaling maintindihan yung Garimot, gagawin ko talagang comic book. You know, I think one of the most effective one kung if you know what I'm talking about, kung maintindihan mo yung Garimot is yung istorya na yung pinopoke yung leon.
Yeah.
Na comic book strip. That's basically the very very root principle of Garimot, especially Cincoteros. So
Julius, behind the scene, kailangan natin kausapin to.
Oo, kailangan nga. Sa maraming hindi nakakaalam, ang ating lahi na Pilipino, we dominate the comics industry. Hindi lang dahil sa mahilig tayo sa comics Pilipinas, pero pati dito. Mga inker, napakadami. Basically, kung bastard child ka, kung PhilAm ka di sa Amerika, kung mabuti ka sa magulang mo, sabihin, gusto kong maging doktor, maging nurse, maging engineer, yung mga rebelde mga anak, yun ang nagiging DJ. O nagtatrabaho sa comics.
Comic book. Drawing. Totoo yan.
Oh, bad boy ka, itatakwil kita, anak kita. Naging si DJ Tandang. Nagtatrabaho na sa DC at Marvel Comics.
Ayun yun, man.
Kailangan may behind the scenes tayo dito. Sige.
Yeah, behind the scene. Kukontakin ka namin, may ginagawang Julius behind the scenes. So, by the way, any last word or anything you want to say to the audience, Tandang, especially sa mga Pilipino sa Pilipinas?
So yeah, I mean maraming salamat sa inyo sa pag-imbita dito no sa interview. I think it's very fun. Especially we got to talk about Eugene, which is a very good friend of mine, and I love that guy. God rest his soul. Pero yung sa atin, yung talagang sa atin, yung kultura natin, talagang kailangan dapat i-promote natin 'yan dahil I think that's what we're known for around the world now. Is one of that is yung ating martial arts, ano. So yeah, let's keep going, let's keep practicing. Ang tanggalin lang natin yung ipupunta natin yung ibang tao, ano, dahil yan ay hindi nakakabuti kahit kanino yan, kahit sa ang art. So I mean, let's support each other, but let's be honest as well in our capabilities. Yun lang.
Very nice. Very nicely put.
Talagang taga San Miguel pala siya.
Ito, San Miguel, Bulacan.
Julius, any last word? Oh, by the way, Tandang, any seminars, anything that you're working on before the end of the year?
So si Gat Puno nandito sa Chicago, October, I think like third week of October. No, maybe November. Holy shit, I can't even remember. I don't run the show anymore. I'm behind the scenes. I let my students do that, but I will post it on my Facebook. I'm also trying. Some people have reached out to me to do seminars. I'm not sure yet, because I don't normally go out and do seminars. I like to be home with my family. Pero we're talking. I actually reached out to Kurt Cornwall in Detroit. He's interested in hosting a seminar over there. So I might give that a shot. I want to plant a seed somewhere in the Midwest where Garimot can be can grow. So that's my goal. If I can propagate that and keep the art going and the true meaning of Garimot and promoting Paete, that's basically my passion, and I will do whatever I can if I can do it for as long as I can.
Very nice. And you being my senior, I'm here if you need me.
Yes.
And Julius, you're also on that bracket now too. So, tutulong tayo.
Yeah.
Tulong tayo, yeah.
Yeah.
Talaga mapagkumbaba siya. I can already tell that he's from the place that he's at. That's where he got it from.
Well, actually, kaya I don't know what it is, but I got along with him the first time I met Tandang. So
yeah.
we didn't even realize na meron kaming common friend. until later.
I know.
So-
I know. Man, small world, man. Small world.
Hey bro, maybe next year we'll bring you back.
Sounds
Kasi
good.
medyo naputol tayo.
I know.
At
I
least you gotta-
apologize.
yeah.
I'm so
Para
sorry.
alam mo na yung ginagawa namin. So, next time maybe inuman naman tayo habang nag-i-interview.
Sige. Oh, sige.
Julius, any last word, Julius? Before we end?
Wala. Masaya ito, masaya. Parang talaga nag-iinuman lang tayo.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Eugene, Eugene, sorry. Eugenio, we have other shows coming up. We have an adobo series with Chef Ramon. So that's actually a very nice thing to do. We have Monsieur in 2 weeks. We had Datu Shashir coming up. Sashi is coming up too. So a lot of good things happening. If you don't mind, anything you want to promote, send it to June and Paul show, and we will help you promote that.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And maybe we can go shooting one of these days when I go to Chicago.
Hey, man, that's my shit right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
By the way, I'm what do you call this? RSO. So
Yeah.
I'm a safety officer. So in Florida. So,
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Yeah, hit me up. I'll hit you up next time I'm in Florida. Yeah, we can do that, man. We can run around the range and shoot.
yeah, swing by here.
Yeah,
You know, we'll take you out.
sounds good.
Okay, guys. Last word again, Julius.
Wala.
Tandang, last word.
Nahihiya.
Okay, folks, have a good night and thank you for watching the show. This is going to be posted also in our YouTube channel. Marami pong salamat and we will end the live show. Don't leave yet, guys.